The China Coast Guard has been accused of seizing and dumping overboard food and other supplies meant for Filipino troops stationed at a remote outpost in Ayungin Shoal and allegedly obstructing a medical evacuation of ailing soldiers. According to a ranking military official who asked not to be named for not having authority to speak to the media, both incidents took place on May 19 when the Philippine Army performed an airdrop operation to bring the items to the BRP Sierra Madre, a dilapidated warship grounded in 1999 to protect Manila's claims to the shoal. The source said that in a third incident on May 24, the China Coast Guard used water cannons to drive away a Filipino fishing boat near the shoal. The INQUIRER source makes the allegations hours after Chinese state media claimed that personnel on the Sierra Madre pointed guns at the China Coast Guard on the same day, May 19. In a social media post on Sunday, China's Central Television said at least 2 men were seen carrying guns on deck, pointing them in the direction of the China Coast Guard. The Philippine Navy, Philippine Coast Guard, and National Security Council, as well as the country's embassy in Beijing, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The INQUIRER source also says the China Coast Guard deployed 4 rubber boats during the May 19 paradrop operation of a Philippine Navy aircraft to the Sierra Madre. The Chinese nationals grabbed some of the provisions, mostly food, and scattered them into the water, making sure they couldn't be consumed, but some of them took supplies for themselves, according to the source. The source further says that on the same day, 2 Chinese Coast Guard ships and 4 rubber boats also harassed a medical evacuation operation meant to provide medical assistance to soldiers who got sick. The source says one of the Chinese Coast Guard ships directly blasted its water cannon at the outboard motor toward one of the Philippine rubber boats. The engine guard of the Philippine boat was also damaged after a Chinese rubber boat rammed its rear. A non-military source with knowledge of the operations confirms the Chinese harassment, but his version slightly differed from the first source, saying the Chinese boats had tried to block the transfer of personnel between the Philippine Navy boats and a small Philippine Coast Guard watercraft. Ayungin is a low-tide elevation that lies within the Philippines' 370-kilometer exclusive economic zone, some 194 kilometers off Palawan province. The Sierra Madre hosts a small contingent of Filipino troops requiring regular rotation and resupply missions that have been on the receiving end of Chinese harassment.